at this point, I have to assume that Trump actually has no advisors, and he's just doing shit that he thinks will appease a mythical base,
That's
and he's
all I can
plugging his
assume.
ears when people, and if anyone's even able to get near to his ears, tells him something like, just to swing back to the signal thing, like it's crazy that he didn't even know. The president didn't even know that there was this leak before newspapers did. That's crazy.
Well, again, it has to do with his remedial understanding of everything. I don't think there's another way to talk about it. His remedial understanding of tariffs.
Yes.
We know they're associated directly with trade deficits or surpluses. And he sees deficit as negative because he's got a baby brain. He doesn't understand that actually a trade deficit can be a good thing and actually generally is. For example, Madagascar, we have no need to do much with them. They're not buying a lot of our stuff because, $400, $500 per person GDP is not going to be a lot of buying power. But because of that, vanilla, which is incredibly difficult to grow, super, super manually labor intensive. You have to hand pollinate every single flower, and then you have to hand harvest. There's no automation for any of that. You need basically the only way you're going to get it is people. So that's why we have cheap vanilla, because of our trades with them. But adding this weird sort of layer on top of it and eliminating the ability for us to have cheap vanilla is because of a trade deficit is, again, baby brained. And it just shows
it's literally just based off the word deficit being there.
Correct.
That's literally it. It's like,
I really do think so.
If we buy a different amount from them than they buy from us, that means we're at a disadvantage. No, we know you're at a disadvantage because you were buying it in the first place, because you were selling in the first place.
No,
that's the advantage.
There are, and this is, I think, at some point I actually want to get into and talk through. Mm-hmm. There are, it's the most frustrating part of all of this is there's and you'll see Giannis, who's like a famous semi-lefty soc dem type economist who plays in a very different space in Greece, talk positively about a lot of these tariffs. Yeah. And it's confusing people because it's like, what the fuck, Giannis? And it's because there are some things there. And again, when you talk about the entirety of it, it is altogether stupid because it is a fundamental misunderstanding of how international trade works. However, to just say that there's nothing there or no point, it also ignores how international trade works. These things kind of go together. So the first thing, though, I want to talk about, aside from the massive, hilarious losses that we've seen across the board, there was a weird thing that happened today. And there was a point where we saw $2 trillion in the S&P invested and then lost within, I want to say, a half hour, which is unusual. So there was a rumor. Again, investors were dying for Trump to slow roll this in any capacity. And there were rumors that spread like wildfire thanks to X and thanks to really terrible news media. CNBC and a bunch of people reported on it from a rumor mill on X. But this morning, the White House economic advisor, Hassett, joined Fox News. He was asked, would you do a 90-day pause? Because everyone's hoping, please do a 90-day pause. They start tonight, like the 7th and 8th is like the dates. And he went, I think the president's going to decide what he's going to decide. That sounded like a hint. That sounded like a hint to people who were like dying for it, because it's not an unequivocal, no, he won't pause. It was doing what they have to do because, again, the infrastructure of the communication of the Trump administration's fundamentally broken. He does not have the ability to say yes or no because Trump may change his mind. Like as far as he knew, there was a no, but he couldn't say that because he'd be fired, because if Trump literally did it, like, again, it's a broken nightmare. So he does this and he says this. This was this morning. This is like the fucked up timeline of what happened in the S&P.
Please subscribe to President Sunday Prime.
Please subscribe to President Sunday Prime. That's probably
thank
fair. You. I'll support that. I am subscribed to President Sunday Prime.
You better be.
So at 10:10, rumors emerged that the White House was considering a 90-day tariff pause. We saw the article. the interview. CNBC reported this as a 90-day pause on all tariffs except for China. At 10:18, the S&P added over $3 trillion in market cap from its low. $3 trillion. This happened. This is how fast things move and how wild. And then suddenly, 7 minutes later, the White House was unaware of this 90-day pause. A minute later, CNBC reports that it was not true. 8 minutes later, the White House called off the tariff pause as fake news, and then it erased the 2.5 trillion from the market cap on its high from 22 minutes prior. So 22 minutes, we saw $2.5 trillion disappear. And this happened today. And it's one of the reasons that you're going to see like end of day reports for the S&P is going to end up becoming balanced. Because the thing to remember is that all of these buys that caused this massive increase were actually actively also being offset by a whole lot of people selling, a huge number. And as this went up, you also saw an incredible decrease in the number of puts as people sold off their as people pulled back their bets that the market would continue to die. You saw a huge amount of money being sold off and lost there. Like, this is all very fucked up. And it was like basically almost a huge pump and dump. And
is it worth, is it worth, do you think, I'm actually kind of curious about this. Is it worth actually watching Yanis's interview on Channel 4?
I would like to do that after this, because I think I want to do some background on tariffs and sort of manufacturing, because it helps with his views, so you can kind of see all of this stuff, because this is not easy. Yeah. Like, again, we're shitting on Trump. If you're president, you should know these things.
Well, it's doubly complicated by the fact that, like, there are economists who can perceive a strategic value or strategic aim in what's happening. Whether or not it's a good plan by itself, it's a separate issue. And then there's the additional factor where it's like, okay, but is Trump aware of any of that anyways?
No, he's very stupid.
I do not know anything about stonks. It's bad when the line goes down, right? /J.
It's thank you for the donation. And yes, it is generally bad when the line goes down, unless you've put in puts or shorts in the right way. Like, there are mechanisms to make money on everything in the stock market. Think of it like the horse races. You can make money off of a lot of different stuff there. But I mean, how dysfunctional, I want to, just because we're on it.
Yes.
So Peter Navarro, who is the Harvard economist who helped do these and put these together. This is one of my favorite stories in the last couple days. Because is
this the Musk one?
No.
Can we look at that too? Because that's so good.
You know what? We should.
Let's take a dip. Okay, I posted it there.
I agree. Let's do that, because we'll come back, because
we need a little bit of
color, because
levity.
This is levity. This whole story, Navarro, is a goddamn joke. I don't know how else to put it. But short version. So Musk has slammed key Trump advisor Navarro, calling for more free trade. Musk has jumped ship. He's no longer part of the let's do tariffs all the fucking time thing. He told an Italian interviewer, like live on video, that he's not a fan of tariffs, doesn't believe in tariffs, and that he wants full, open, free trade between the Europe and the U.S., which is kind of...
I'll tell you what it's... You know what screams to me? Oh, shit.
I'm getting fucked. Help me, please.
I don't want the secret services of different countries considering me a target. Bluntly, like, in all seriousness, like, the perception that Trump is taking his cues from Musk is the most dangerous thing for Musk's longevity imaginable. Like, I would be terrified to be in that position. That's terrifying.
The back and forth happened on X that was most interesting, because there was someone who posted up saying that Navarro is skilled and smart and brilliant on his tariff ideas, and talked about his PhD in Harvard economics. And Musk, who of course said this, a PhD in econ from Harvard is a bad thing, not a good thing. Another user stepped in to defend Navarro, and Musk replied, "He ain't built shit." I love that. I love that. It's amazing. And so he then went on to say, both Europe and the United States should move ideally, in my view, to a zero tariff situation, effectively creating a free trade zone between Europe and North America, Musk said, as Bloomberg reported. So Navarro has been coming everywhere, and this is why this is amazing. He is the guy, right? Yeah. He's the guy behind a lot of this. And he's been ubiquitous on TV, defending Trump's tariff program, touting $600 billion in annual revenue, all of this sort of thing. But what makes it awesome? I'm just going to read this, and you can just enjoy this. I'm just going to read. It's basically Rachel Maddow straight through. You'd think it would take like a grand plan and some big brains to figure out how to destroy the economy of the richest nation on earth, but that's not how it's working out. Turns out it doesn't take a big idea or a lot of brains working together. Maddow noted Trump tasks son-in-law Kushner with finding him an economic advisor, a search that led Kushner to Amazon, where he landed on one of Navarro's books. This is how he was found. Seriously. That's when things took a turn for Maddow, who said Friday Navarro wasn't the only figure who helped craft Trump's tariff policy. In all of his books, Peter Navarro has cited an economics expert to justify his views. The economics expert he cites is somebody named Ron Vera, who, Maddow added, sent a memo around Washington at the start of Trump's first administration touting the benefits of a tariff policy. The problem is Ron Vera doesn't exist. He never has. The economics expert Peter Navarro has long cited to explain why he's gung-ho on tariffs.
Holy shit.
This person, Ron Vera, is made up. He's fictional. Peter Navarro invented Ron Vera as his expert source, so he could quote this expert source over and over and over again in his crackpot books. Ron Vera is an anagram of Navarro, which is his last name.
What?
I mean, my name anagrams to Macho Adler, but I don't see myself trying to talk into doing what Macho Adler wants, which is a good line.
The best part is you can imagine him at 3 a.m. in the morning at his computer. Oh, of course.
It's a Twitter user.
He thinks he's brilliant for making his alias an anagram of his name, like he's a
He made
Batman
a fake Twitter
villain.
account. He made a fake Twitter account for it. Like there's a whole thing there.
Oh my god. What do you suppose it's like showing up to the office for these people after something like this drops? What do you think?
They don't have shame. So,
but you think though, like, there's got to be a moment where you walk in, and Trump doesn't read the news, so he hasn't learned. But Trump has learned, presumably, that hey, your head economist that's telling you all to do all this stuff that's making everybody hate you. Yeah, he made up his source. It's an anagram of his name. It's supposed like he walks to the door and there's just a moment where he just looks up, just like,
I don't know.
Just make eye contact for a second, then they avert, and then stuff goes on.
It's entirely possible. These people are absolutely out of their fucking skulls. And they really, again, don't have a grasp of any of this. And I think I can, like, that's it.
This is going to sound very origin coded. But
oh, no.
I just find the lack of ambition by old men in academia who are attempting to last-ditch attempt to make a name for themselves just really bizarre. I'm contemplating going through a very potentially boring couple of months reading Adam Smith. Okay, why? Because I want to understand it, so I can talk about it and so on and so forth. I have to do stuff in order to survive. Like that's at cost, and I understand the value of doing that, so I don't say stupid things as opposed to smart things. You would think that like someone in this person's position, you think that Navarro would just be like, why don't I get a team of low income but talented college students to just like put their rubber stamp on this, and maybe get like an actual doctor. Hey, there's some crackpot you can pay money to, like, instead of like literally just being up at his computer by himself making up his alias. It's like
it's a lot. And when you start getting into, again, this person who was the architect of this, found via good books on Amazon by Jared Kushner.
Yeah.
This is how we got the person. and they don't have, again, an internal discussion or expertise or anything. This was put together inside of weeks. This was not what should be if you're gonna do this. Like, let's say you really wanted to buckle down, and I can, again, make very good arguments on doing this with China or even Southeast Asia, where the way that China is artificially sort of, I don't know, lowering its overall cost of goods and reintroducing them to us in other ways is incredibly damaging to the Chinese people, because it is, and it's awful. But
here's the thing, though. Like, the value of tariffs fundamentally at bottom is ultimately, like, it is economic, obviously, but it's, especially when you're talking about like impactful tariffs, it's political primarily. You're talking about things that cause changes in behaviors, which means that they don't precipitate stability.
Yep.
So when you do like radical global tariffs against everywhere, including uninhabited islands with nothing but penguins on them, that doesn't usher in a new and predictable world order in which, okay, these problems that we had before are solved. That just creates entirely new ones that you can't predict. And the problem is that not only is Trump doing this is also coming off the heels of him gutting the bureaucracy so that the actual impacts of these decisions will largely be invisible, because the entire all the institutions that are responsible for making sure that this stuff is managed with knowledge are in complete turmoil. So it's just, and brain drain, because they're firing everybody, they're getting new jobs, and you can't just hire people back.
No, you can't.
They move on, and they're afraid to work for you again, because who's to say you won't fire them again later? And
it gives opportunities like what this is. This is an accurate statement. The single tariff headline attributed to White House advisor Hassett swung $6 trillion in S&P 500 market cap. We just witnessed the largest 30-minute swing in market cap history. The opportunity for the opportunists and the scumbags of the world is bigger than it's ever been because of all of this. This is the kind of stuff, if you go back and you look at how crypto has operated for the last 4 or 5 years, you will see exactly these things.
I'm saying, but I don't understand the first thing about crypto, so you have to lead here.
You don't have to, just know that for the most part, it's exactly this kind of thing. Hey guys, this is going to be huge. Good. Let me put a bunch of money in. Oh, actually, it's not. Haha, bye. I got your money. That's basically crypto.
Hi,
a happy thought.
Oh, I don't have a happy thought, but I have a secret to tell you.
No, it's about a happy thought. Hello?